I would sit down with my trading buddy and we would get on Skype and we would pull up our charts and we would look at the same charts. And our question was, buy or sell?
Hey, it's Walter here, and you're at the Think Profit podcast, where we're going to help you develop a rock-solid trading confidence and avoid the potentially endless cycle of system switching. Right, Hugh?
That's right. We're going to help you develop a wealth mindset, develop a trading strategy that fits your core personality, and help you overcome the obstacles that stop over 90% of traders.
All right, Hugh, sounds good. You ready to go?
Yeah, let's do this.
So I got a question yesterday from a trader. And he was talking about how I said, how's your trading going? And he was saying that what he realized was that he was losing quite a bit, and he was thinking that what he needed to do was to get better at reading the markets. Basically, he's into price action, so that's kind of his approach, which is close to how near and dear to me, and I know you know a lot about it too. So what I highlighted for him is something I think that a lot of other traders could benefit from, which is this idea that a lot of times we focus on what seems to be the obvious thing, and when someone else has a look at it, sometimes you'll realize that there's a little bit more to it. And I'll give you an example. So when he said that he was consistently losing because he couldn't quite get a handle on price action, my response was, well, are you sure that that's it? Because typically, there are the three things. There's the system, there is the risk rules, and then there's you. Basically, how you interact with the system, your psychology, which is what we talk about here, right? And so he was focusing on the system and specifically the entry rules. What I said was, look, it may not be that. Like, it could be that, but it may not be that. It could be that what you find is if you do the exact same things you're doing right now, but you change your exit rules, things will get better. It also could be if you do exactly what you're doing now, but you change your risk rules, you would be on a different path and have a different sort of a drawdown, and you won't get to those deep drawdowns that perhaps you're having right now, and that's why you're thinking, oh, it's not working, I need to quit, right?
Yeah.
So that's the thing is that, and then obviously the last bit is it could be that your relationship with the system is not, in lockstep. So like this often comes up when traders go, okay, what I want to do is trade. Okay, so what do I do? Okay, I need to find a really good system. Okay, so let's check on the internet. Okay, this one's really good. This guy's done really well with it. So I'm gonna use it because obviously it's the best thing I can find, right? So it's the best thing I can find, so let's use it. Right. Well, that's obviously, as you know, that's tricky because I didn't really build it, and I'm just using something out of the box that someone's given to me. Unless it really matches up with my beliefs about how things work in the markets, I'm not going to trade it long term. I'm going to give up on it eventually. So the reason why I bring this up is because I think as traders, we need to start thinking in these three buckets. Is it system, which is entry and exit, right? Is it me, which is how I interact with my system and my belief or confidence in my strategies or strategies. And then finally is the risk, which is the risk kind of amplifies it and it can make my system, have higher peaks and lower drawdowns and all sorts of things when you start to get into that realm. So when you run into an issue as a trader, it may not be that you just need to change your entry. That's probably the number one first port of call for most traders is to go, oh, I need to change my entry, but it may not be that. And so I just wanted to talk about, I know you had some experience in this, and so what have you found in terms of that? Like when you're looking at systems and trying to diagnose, what are some of the things that you've run into?
Hey there, I hope you're finding this episode useful. I just wanted to let you know that Walter and I give away something valuable every month that helps traders improve their skills. You can enter to win by simply leaving an iTunes review and leaving a comment on our YouTube videos. At the end of each month, we'll look at the comments and reviews from the month, and we'll pick a winner at random. Each comment and each review counts for one entry during the month that it's submitted. So if you're interested in that, be sure to enter after this podcast is over. All right, back to the episode.
Yeah, sure. You've covered most of it pretty well, but a couple things to add. First, I know a lot of traders think they learned the system correctly, but then when they actually go back to the educational material or whatever strategy the person was using, sometimes they notice, oh, I'm not actually following the rules. And I saw it with this guy this week. He's been posting his trades. He's been showing me what he's doing. And I can see, okay, sometimes he follows the rules, sometimes he doesn't. And he's been losing and he's frustrated, obviously. But I told him, go back, take a look at your journal, see what you're doing, and are you actually following the rules? Did you actually interpret whatever that book or that YouTube video said correctly? And if you didn't, then that's one place to start also. The second thing is, I think we really underestimate the mindset part of it. Like we don't take a look at, am I in the right state of mind when I'm trading? Do I tend to overtrade? Do I tend to undertrade? The same guy I talked to, I told him what's the difference between your back testing and your live trading, and one of the things he listed was FOMO, and that's something he didn't identify before, but it's something that's really common with a lot of traders. You want to get into the trade, you want to make $1 million right now, you just take these crappy trades. So I think those are two things that are really underestimated, but we really have to be aware of.
Yeah, it's so true, isn't it? And it's tricky because sometimes as traders we feel like really we should be pressing to trade more often, right? Because of what you said, like FOMO, right?
Yeah.
Like you're really kind of like, yeah, I need to, And I used to think of it the best way I know how to explain this is I used to think of it like I would sit down with my trading buddy and we would get on Skype and we would pull up our charts and we would look at the same charts, and our question was buy or sell. and that's not how I do it anymore, right? Like, so now my question is there a trade?
Yeah.
Right? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, it's a very different approach. So it's not always the case. If you have a low win rate, you can have the issue of not wanting to pull the trigger. But in most cases, what traders are doing, especially in the beginning, is they usually trade with a high win rate because they take quick profits. And so what they're really trying to do is trade a lot. And the question is the yen going up today or is it going down? Like, that's the question. And they're not really looking at it from a system point of view. And the other thing I want to mention is what you said to that guy is great. And one way you can quantify that about looking in your journal is scoring. So if you score your entries and score your exits, you'll actually have a quantifiable data set that you can go back and look at and say, oh, this is where it was here or it was there. And that's a really good way for you as a trader, especially if you're not like, something's going on, you don't know what it is, to see and zero in on, oh, it's my exits or it's my entries. Or if you're missing trades, that's a sign that maybe because you're at work or away from the screen or sleeping or whatever it is, that's a sign that maybe you want to adjust your time frame. Like, instead of trading the 4-hour charts and you miss 2 candles or whatever, or miss 2 candles while you're at work or what have you, you can move to the 8-hour, the 12-hour, or the daily, or whatever it is, a different time frame, and usually still trade the same rules, and that way you don't miss any. It's really hard to miss 12-hour or 8-hour trades. Like, you can see them. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you think about it, if your charts start out in the morning, 8 hours later you're still going to be awake. You know what I mean? Most of us are awake for about 16 hours. so that would be 7, 8. Yeah, so if you got 8 hours of sleep, in theory, you could catch that second candle or whatever. But the point is, it's possible to quantify it. It's possible to quantify your entries and rate them, on a scale of 1 to 10 or whatever, and your exits. And it's possible also, if you're missing trades, to adjust your lifestyle so that you don't have to. One of the most ironic things about trading is that when you're trading the lower time frames, and the reason why traders want to do that, of course, is because they want to be in and out. They want to be flat for the day. They want to come back tomorrow and live to fight another day. They don't want to have open trades while they're sleeping, right? Or over the weekend. That's why traders trade scalping, lower time frame sort of strategies. The ironic thing about that is more like a full-time job than trading the higher time frames.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you can easily trade the 12-hour charts if you have a full-time job. Like, no problemo, right? Even the 8-hour charts, probably not a stretch for most traders because it might only be 30 minutes a day. Right?
Yeah.
But if you're scalping, you've got to dedicate hours. And if you're working all day and then you want to come home at night or get up in the morning before work or whatever, that's the quick road to burnout. So it's really tricky. And I think you really kind of want to think about how is my system fitting with my lifestyle? How is it fitting with my beliefs? And that's a big deal. And that's why I think it's really cool that, once traders realize that, they can zero in on where they can impact their trading the most and get better at this, So it's really...
Yeah. I think the missed trades is a big one too, because it can be a real bummer if you didn't get any trades this week or you lost this week, and then you look at your missed trades and you're like, oh, okay, I could have done pretty well if I just took those trades. So just figure out how to get them, right? How
to modify so that you get that. That's right. Like, I know traders who would go to work, and then when the 4 candles print, they would go to the toilets and check their phone or whatever. And see if they could, that's possible. Like, a lot of people can do that, especially actually nowadays, a lot of people are working from home anyway. So it's like,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So yeah.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Walter.
See ya.
All information in this podcast is for educational and informational purposes only and is not trading or investment advice.